videos. That I hit the thing just that quick and ended the video. You got young girls out here. I'm thinking about getting a studio mic when I'm sitting down to do my videos. You have young girls, they don't got nobody to turn to. Now, one of the commenters in my comment about, I was saying young women advice for dating, right? And I was saying how I was a late bloomer, even though I was 16 and I was now starting to really get interested in boys. Someone said that that's not considered late blooming. Yes, it is, because in my time, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, women started real young. We had to grow up real fast. A lot of our parents was addicted to drugs, or they was out in the work field. We was called the latchkey kids, and we had to figure stuff out quickly. So a lot of the girls of my time was dating at 13. Let's just keep it real. They were pregnant at 13, dating at 13. A lot of them got their period early in life. So when they were dating and talking about boys, I just didn't relate to that. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I considered myself a little bit of a late bloomer. I wasn't severely late, like I wasn't in my mid-20s now having a boyfriend. But for that era, that would be considered late 20s in this era. Does that make sense? Because this era, even though they're advanced, they're not advanced when it comes to the family setting. They're not that advanced. So another commenter said, don't take advice from, when you're, in your relationship, don't take advice from like other people, like family members. I have to agree, but I have to disagree on some levels. The reason why is when you're young, you don't really understand what it means to date. You just know, okay, well, I like this boy or I like this girl because they're nice to me or they're cute or whatever, right? You don't understand the intricate details needed to date. That's why you have your assistance from your parents. The parents meet the person. Like I'm gonna be meeting this boy that my daughter's dating face to face, right? I'll probably invite him over for dinner. Just get to know him. Understand what is he looking for, what is his long-term goals, what is he looking for with my daughter, things like that. The interference comes later on when you're like in the relationship, and the parent might become what they call meddling. Then that's a problem. Yes. So with this situation with my daughter, I'm not going to be a meddling mom, but she absolutely should come to me when she's confused about something. Maybe she might need to understand, well, when is the right time I should, start a family? What is considered a good husband? What is considered a good wife? Things like that. So understanding her moral compass, does it mesh well with his moral compass? All these things we got to ask our kids, and our kids need to be able to ask themselves. If they start getting uncomfortable just answering those type of questions, then you may not be ready for a long-term relationship. You might just be ready for a friendship type dating. But you got to remember, with a friendship type dating, there is the temptation to have sex, and there's a possibility you might get pregnant. So all these things you need to consider before jumping into a relationship. So a lot of parents don't have that type of relationship with their kids where they can talk about these things. The kid is already out there slinging ding-a-ling, or the girl is already out there giving it up to the highest bidder or anybody that's going to give her attention. That's a problem. Now you got these group of women out here. You got one side that's saying never date men. Then you got another side that's saying all men are bad, so keep your guard up, because you could potentially get beat up or hurt by a man, right? So now her guard is so up that she's not realizing she can also get hurt by a female. So she's going to put a guard up to all the men, but not the guard up to some women. And it's like, why are you not teaching them to have survival instincts, period? Because there's women out there doing some weird stuff too to women, molesting young girls and all that stuff. There's this girl on TikTok. She's supposed to be what's the word they call those women that look like men? Stud. She's supposed to be a stud. Really pretty, but she's looking like dress like a man. And she likes the women that are BBWs, you know, plumpy, more bigger. And she degrades them online, on screen. Public humiliation. That's part of her rituals. And she beats them, call it submissive, dominatrix, and all that stuff. This is all demonic. So now you got your young girls thinking that this is cute. Oh, I got to be on social media getting whipped by another female. This is not a man doing it. This is a female doing it to another female. So you was raised in a society that's patriarchic, that told you that you wasn't worth nothing. So now you're going to degrade the BBW women and tell them they're not worth nothing. That's what she tells them. They're not worth nothing, and you're going to get punished because you didn't open up my chair for me, or whatever she makes them do. It's this humiliation ritual. So you got women out there, and this woman that's doing that, she looks about late 30s, maybe mid 30s. So you're grown enough to know right from wrong, what you're doing. So this is what I'm saying. Like, we got our women out here confused, battered, evil, doing weird stuff, and no one's having these conversations about that. It's just one or two people on video that might bring it up, but no one's really getting to the root of the cause of the mental deterioration of our women. And I'm not saying it's just black women. Latino women are going through it. White women, Asian women. We're just going to highlight the black women because we're putting ourselves out there for the world to see on a pedestal and saying that this is okay. This is normal behavior to carry out these kind of acts and degrade ourselves. Then you got the other set of women. They're walking around. At some point, you gotta realize the look of looking like a clown, it shouldn't be part of the culture. Why is there no individuality in your look? Why are you all looking the same? All of y'all have thick eyelashes that's this long, unnatural. You're not even making it fit you're not even making it fit to your face. It's like now it's a trend to put 10 pounds of eyelashes onto your eyes. Do you not realize how unhealthy that is for your body? Now you're going to look like a cancer patient by the time you stop wearing them 5 years from now. So by the time you're my age, your lashes are going to have alopecia. Because you're putting all these chemicals into your eyeballs. Like, wake up. This is not good for your body. Now, I can see if you just put a little, one or two little, things on there to enhance yourself, right? I've been wearing eyeliner since I was maybe 19. And even without the eyeliner, my eyes are still pretty. Mashallah. Thank you, Lord. Right? Because I don't overdo it. Even with my 19-year-old daughter, she is an esthetician now. Licensed esthetician. She just got her certificate last month. Praise God. So now she can look for a job. But she was always into skincare, but she likes a ton of makeup. So when she does her makeup, she layers it. She does, I don't even know half the names. There's a title for each makeup. Like, you got the concealer, the primer, you got I never wear primer. I probably wore it once in a blue moon on my birthday, and that was because my daughter forced me to put the primer on. She's like, Mommy, the makeup is not going to last if you don't put the primer. I'm like, I don't need the makeup, so even if it sweats off, I still look the same, right? She's like, no, but you're going to look way better. Promise, promise, promise. She put it on me, and then she put some other stuff on me, and I felt like a corpse. The shade didn't match. And this is no shade against women that wear a lot of makeup. There's no shade. I'm just keeping it real. It just didn't suit me, right? Because the same thing a person could say, well, you wear weave. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're right, I wear weave. A person that has nice, luxurious hair might say, well, that weave, I would never wear weave. I get it. But my hair can still grow with the weave. The way I put it in, it can still grow healthily. I tell my daughter, I said, don't put so much. You don't got to put so much. But she's been conditioned to watch TikTok, and the girls, they do it a certain way. Now, I can't lie. When she come out after putting it on, her face be beat. I be like, okay, I want you to do mine. Because you can see the difference in how I put on mine. It still looks like just everyday look. And then when she puts it on, she look like Miss America. Okay? So yes, she knows what she's doing. But the aftermath, a week later, she's having pimple after pimple after pimple, heat rash because the skin can't breathe, right? And then she has to go through a whole regimen again to put the stuff that she does with her esthetician, which is like the face mask, and it's like a kind of like a healing from when you damage yourself. It's like a just counteracted back and forth. So then I'll see on social media people like Kiki Palmer. She suffers from eczema and skin situations with her face, right? Acne and all that. My daughter will probably give her a great regimen and she will probably never really have that kind of acne again, right? But she turns around and she wears a lot of makeup after you could tell she goes through her cleansing process of her skin, and then she'll cake on some makeup. And it's like, well, why can't you just put on a little lipstick and maybe just a little, why do you have to put on all this extra? So it's become habitual with women and vanity. It's like we can't get to that point where we just accept our flaws. You see what I'm saying? Like when I'm out and about going to the corner store, I'm not wearing makeup. I'm not wearing lipstick, none of that. I just go out and do what I gotta do. But it's to the point where some people feel like they can't leave the house unless they look like Miss America. And there's nothing wrong with that. I got that type of mentality from my father. He was very into like, you gotta look professional, you gotta look this way, you gotta look this way, right? Because my father was highly educated. Even though he had his mental illness, he still liked that classy, always look like you ready for the runway look. So if we left the house looking half-assed, we gotta be there. And my mom, she never liked grooming us, the girls. She didn't like to do my hair. She always used to fuss about having to do my hair. So she would let me go 2 weeks with the same cornrows. And I'm like, Mommy, can you please do my hair? And she's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And she would never do it. And this is part of the narcissism. You can't look better than me. My mother used to look flawless back in her day, okay? Nice suits, nice hair, heels, going to work. But her kids would be looking shabby. So my dad used to have to force her to get her lazy ass up and braid my hair. And while she would be braiding my hair, she'd be hitting me with the brush and stuff, right? Because she didn't really care about us. There was times I had to go to school, I had to have a wool hat on my head in the middle of summer. And the kids would make fun of my hair because it wasn't done. So this is why I became a cosmetologist throughout my years, right? So that's my point is, sometimes it comes from a deeper seated issue of we don't like the way we look. We've been brainwashed to feel like, okay, we can't like our skin color. We can't like our hair. We can't like this, we can't like that. We can't like our natural bodies. If you're a size 34B, you're too small. In the white community, if your hips is beyond or 34 inches, you're a fat cow. Right? In the black community, if your hips is below a 32, you're a toothpick. It's like you can't win as a woman. Meanwhile, the guy can get overweight, he could be a stick figure, and he gonna still find him a bad bitch. What are we talking about? And then we wonder why the women are damaged. They don't want to face it, but these are conversations that we haven't had. Like when Serena first came out, Serena Williams, she was beautiful to me. No matter what hairstyle she had, she just looked like a natural black woman. When I see her now, I don't know if she did Botox on her face. Something is going on. It's so much makeup, I don't even know what complexion she's in. I mean, so much makeup, I don't even know what complexion Serena Williams is now. When she's in the videos now, her neck looked 2 shades darker than her face. Now you telling me the makeup artist couldn't see that? They do this on purpose. They do this on purpose. They're trying to make us look like clowns. And no one talks about these things. It's like, oh, just black women power, just black women. So you're not allowed to talk about the fact that she doesn't like her skin tone anymore. She's been married to a white man for so many years. Maybe it's changed the way she feels about herself. I don't know. I know my sister was married to a white man, the one that passed away, and she started hating her complexion. My sister's lighter than me, the one that passed away. She was lighter than me. Long natural hair. But when she started dealing with the Caucasian guy, he was a racist. You see what I'm saying? My ex-brother-in-law, he was a racist. He did not like black people, but he fell in love with my sister. That's just, sometimes that happens. None of his family members accepted my sister and her mixed kids. Because if they cared about her kids, when she passed away, they would have stepped up to the totem. They would have stepped up to the plate. None of them stepped up. So my sister started like bleaching her skin, lightening her hair. She put bleach in her hair, and you know, to make it look like she always wanted to be like the blonde, blue-eyed girls. She got contacts, the blue-eye contacts. I mean, so one day I was like, do you ever wear your real eyes? She was like, I thought she was gonna beat my ass because my sister was very violent. She was like, what, bitch? What you said? But she didn't say that. She was like, why do you say that? I said, because to me, you look prettier without the blue eyes, because the blue eyes to me make you look kind of mean, right? Face of black women, God knew what he was doing when he made our eyes to be melanated. It matches your skin tone. White women look good with their light eyes because their skin is transparent, so it blends well and it looks natural. But when you try to go put it in, it don't look right. Now, if it was like hazel, it looks pretty because hazel still looks melanated. It still looks like a mixture. Like you probably got a little bit of mixture of other races, but it still looks natural. Now you may have fair boned women, they're born with natural light eyes. It still looks more natural. But when you go get those bright blue contacts and it don't match. And especially if you're dark skinned and you put these fake eyes and it just look too fake, it makes people talk about you. And I'm not saying you should care what people say, but if you really admired your own eyes, you won't need all of that. Now I can see if you're just going to a little party and you want to look different, you're just doing something different. But I'm talking about these women be faithful to a persona look, a look that is not them. So this is part of our culture now, where we just follow what we see and we think that there's no creativity in our fashion sense. No one's doing anything different anymore. In my time, the more unique you were, the more respected you were. The most unique hairstyles got the most admiration. Now when you try to be unique, people looking at you funny. Like, what? What kind of hairstyle is that? You see what I'm saying? I remember when that style came out where it was one side short, the other side long. They call it an asymmetrical, or there's many names for it. They had the mohawk, they had the, what's that one called? The mullet. And black women perfected that look. Even in the early 2000s, like when Keisha Dior came out, she had the mullet look. She rocked that shit for a couple years, and that thing was fly, right? But after that, you ain't start to see none of those unique looks now. You just see people just slap a horrible wig on their head, the wig coming all across to the top of their eyebrow, and it's like, where's your forehead? What happened? Looking like Planet of the Apes. The lace is coming all the way down here, and it's like, did you lose your brain cells when you put that wig on? Like, were you not looking in the mirror when you saw that your forehead disappeared in the mirror? Like, what happened? Now you're putting the glue on the skin of the forehead, so by the time you take the glue off, your forehead is now 5 shades darker than your face. This is mental illness. Then you got into the natural look where everybody was rocking their natural hair. It was all good with that. But then you had the women that would come and bash another female because she used gel. You ain't no real natural. You just it's just like, why can't we just accept the transitions if it's healthy? If somebody's saying, okay, I want to take this wig off, I want to embrace my natural look, why should that not be complimented? But then you'll have the one that look like a clown with 50 hair colors and no forehead. Everybody like, yeah, she's a bad bitch. Wow, she look great. Woo, 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 woo. Stop lying. Stop lying to her, because if you really cared about this woman, you would tell her the truth. This does not look good on you. It looks like you have a mental illness. And I hate to say it this way, but it's like when you try to like pretty coat stuff, people will try to say, well, are you trying to say this? Are you trying to say that? And it's like, you know what? I'm just going to say what it is. No one's saying a wig is bad. Wigs actually grow your hair. But why does the wig have to have no... Why are you not upkeeping the wig? Why does the wig have knots in it from being unkept? Why does it have an odor? Why couldn't you just take the wig off after the second week of wearing it and dip that thing in some conditioner and warm water to get the smell out? Why are you being lazy with your upkeep, but then you having all this glamour, but you look mentally ill? Your scalp is bleeding from the braids being too tight. You got no edges because you let the people pull you snatch your edges off. Like, where's the boundary here? We've been doing this for years and no one speaks out against it. Then you blame alopecia. Some people naturally have alopecia, but some people are just damaging their hair. You got severe bald spots. If you start to see your hair is going through a crisis, heal it. Give it a break. Put the wig on and keep deep conditioners underneath the stocking cap, and then put the wig on. Tell your hair that you still love yourself, you still love it enough to take care of it. But don't get mad because somebody say, oh, what's that smell? It smells sour. Or because a man say, well, you know what, I'm not really into the wigs, okay, because you're leaving a clot of hair in the bed. I can't have sex with you without worrying about pulling your hair off. You're getting mad if I touch it. And you want to say, oh, he's a black woman hater. And it's like, ma'am, he's just being honest with you. Oh, he just worried about it because he bald-headed, because he ain't got no hair. It's like, so nobody can tell you nothing? Nobody just can't highlight certain things that are just looking crazy? Nobody can't tell you to wash the wig? So the man can't just say, hey, I would like to see your real hair every now and then. That's a problem? Like, what are we talking about? The culture has trained women to just literally either become narcissists, devalue themselves, or take no level of accountability. It's mental illness. We're lost. And then the dudes are lost too. The ones that don't want to take care of their children will jump on the bandwagon and co-mingle with the ones that take care of their children and start saying it's the system's fault. It's the system's fault that you can't give your kids a couple of dollars. You can't buy your kids clothes. You can't pay for your kids' education. That's the system's fault. That part you have control over. So now you're joining with the men that are taking care of their children, when the men are actually the one that's taking care of their children might be dealing with a psychopath baby mama who doesn't want to let him see his kids, who may have unfortunately put him on unfair child support. They may have put him, because you got some vindictive women out there that will put the child, like the guy would be giving them money and then he'll be stupid enough not to get receipts, right? So she'll put him on child support and say he never paid her $1.